There are some people who don't get excited as their birthdays approach. The date comes closer, but inside, nothing stirs. They don't care about their own birthdays at all. No cake, no party, not even a dinner. Just 24 hours. But the real question is this: why? On that day, they act as if it's any other morning. They don't celebrate, they don't make plans. Even blowing out the candles feels like too much. Why do some people hesitate to even say, "Today is my birthday"? Why does someone celebrate the day they were born so quietly? Why do some people hide their birthdays from others? Now, let's dive deep into this. People who treat their birthdays like an ordinary day may appear from the outside emotionless, indifferent, or like the type who doesn't care about celebrations. But inside, storms are raging because that day exposes the most vulnerable parts of their hearts. People want to be seen on their birthday, to be remembered, to feel valued, to hear someone say, "I'm glad you exist." This is a need that embeds itself in us from childhood: belonging, acceptance, being noticed. But when that need goes unmet for years, the people learn to shut down. They choose silence, they give up expectations. Because expectations break you, and broken people learn to protect themselves. That's why some people don't celebrate their birthdays. Not because they choose not to, but because they're afraid to celebrate. Unmet expectations have become a silent teacher inside them. This teacher says, if you expect, you'll hurt. If you hope to be remembered, you'll be forgotten. If you think the day will be special, you'll be disappointed. That's why, subconsciously, these people turn their birthdays into a risk. And avoiding risk is part of the human survival instinct. Imagine a person, once a small child. When their birthday approached, they couldn't contain their excitement. They dreamed of the cake, thought about the presents, expected smiles on their family's faces. But not every child experiences this scene. For some children, a birthday is a quiet day, a normal day, a day no one remembers, no one makes special, no one pays attention to. That child experiences this once, twice, 3 times. Then they draw a conclusion about themselves. So, I'm not that important. That conclusion stays in their heart for years. It grows, deepens, and takes root. That child grows up, becomes an adult. But that small child inside is still forgotten. So, as an adult, they keep their distance from birthdays. The idea of celebration makes them uncomfortable. They don't want to be the center of attention. They think the day will test someone. Even the possibility of being forgotten creates a tiny ache in their heart. To avoid that ache, they say, "I don't like celebrations." Thus, they escape expectations, protect themselves, and stay away from pain. From the outside, these people look cool, carefree, relaxed, like someone who doesn't worry, who doesn't assign big meaning to anything. But if you dig a little deeper, under that relaxed exterior lies deep sensitivity. For them, that day is actually a contradiction between, "I wish I didn't care," and "I wish someone made me feel special." One nurtured them, the other hurt them. Making their birthday ordinary is a defense mechanism. In psychology, this is called protecting yourself by minimizing your own feelings. These people don't want grand things. No flashy celebrations, crowded tables, surprises. None of it is necessary. Just the warmth in a simple, happy birthday. Just the sincerity in someone saying, "I remembered." Sometimes even a single message can repair years of absence. But seeing that message not arrive creates a silent collapse within. That's why they downplay their birthdays. The more ordinary they make it, the less likely they are to be disappointed. And this makes the heart feel safer. But here's the interesting part. People who don't celebrate their birthdays are very thoughtful about others' birthdays. They send messages at exactly 12 a.m. They spend days thinking about the perfect surprise. They choose the nicest words. They try to find the warmest gift. Why? Because they know very well what it feels like to be forgotten. They understand the feeling left by not being remembered. They don't want anyone else to feel that pain. The care they show to others is the compassion they couldn't give to their own wounds. That care is the gift they couldn't give to the child inside themselves. People who downplay their birthdays are also introverted. They don't express their feelings loudly. Being in the spotlight stresses them. They don't feel comfortable in the middle of a crowd. Birthday celebrations usually carry a bustling energy, which overwhelms them. That's why they choose calm, solitude, and silence. Turning inward, being alone with themselves, feels safer. When they choose this, outsiders think they are indifferent or cold. Some people carry the weight of past relationships. Once, someone they loved forgot their birthday. A partner, a best friend, even family. That single moment became a quiet wound that never healed. So now they don't celebrate, because remembering the day that reminds them of being forgotten. And the easiest way to avoid that pain is to treat the day like nothing special. Some are simply shy. Being the center of attention makes their body tense and their voice shrink. For them, a birthday celebration feels like standing on a stage, and a stage has never been a safe place. And some don't see their own worth. They've spent years caring for others, always putting themselves second. So when their birthday comes, a small voice whispers, I'm not that special, even though they are, far more than they realize. Yet inside these people, there is always a quiet hope. A tiny voice that wonders, will someone remember me today? They hide it so well that from the outside it looks like they don't care at all. But they do, more than anyone would guess. They just fear being hurt again. At midnight, the first minute of their birthday arrives. They look at the date and tell themselves, it's just another day. But in the same moment, a thought slips out. Will anyone remember me tonight? That single second reveals everything. People who downplay their birthdays seem strong. They've learned to celebrate alone, heal alone, feel alone. But that strength comes from necessity, a shield built to protect a fragile heart. And over time, that shield becomes heavy, so heavy that they start believing, this is just who I am. But no one is born this way. Life shapes them. Love, disappointment, and being forgotten shape them. They're not indifferent. They're wounded. They don't hate celebrations. They've been hurt by them. They don't want their birthday to feel ordinary, and they just don't want to risk another disappointment. But something magical happens when someone truly sees them. Even a simple happy birthday can touch their soul. A tiny spark of joy appears, and because they didn't expect it, a small gesture becomes a big moment. And here's the beautiful truth. These people often carry the deepest, softest hearts. They feel intensely. They love intensely. They just struggle to show it. So when you see someone treating their birthday like any other day, don't assume they don't care. Because they do care. They just hide it to protect themselves. And if any part of this feels familiar to you, remember, you are not wrong. Your experience has shaped you, and protecting yourself has never been a weakness. But maybe one day you'll learn to celebrate yourself, even just a little. A small candle, a small gift, a small, I'm glad I was born. Sometimes healing starts exactly there. Now let me ask you something. What do you think hides in the heart of someone who downplays their own birthday? Tell me in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts.